Are you ready to rock?
I get it.
And roll? Because we're both in rocking chairs.
Everything is so much more difficult being pregnant.
It's so obvious what to lead off with. It's inevitable. It's happening. We all know it. We can all see it. It's blatant. Let's start talking about the Toronto Blue Jays making a run, for sure the playoffs, and I'm hoping the World Series. You've become a big baseball fan. What do you think of, I mean, we've become fans of the Kentville Wildcats, as we've talked about in previous episode, which is like a men's league, semi-professional here in Kentville, Nova Scotia. What do you think of the major leagues, Toronto Blue Jays? You can watch. Are you going to watch some playoff games with me or what?
Yeah, I'll watch a game. I haven't watched one game, but I hear they're doing great since the year of my birth. That's
why I did a little trick. It seemed like I was going to talk about your pregnancy because it's obvious, inevitable, and you even did the touch the belly for the viewers at home who can't see and are just listening. But the little mislead is that the Toronto Blue Jays are doing great, and of course I want them to win. I'm a Toronto guy, but the big thing was my wife was born in 1993, correct?
Correct.
The last year the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series. It's 2025. You're pregnant with a little girl who's going to be born in September, right before the playoffs. Is she the omen that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to win?
Are we?
We the omen? Like you and I?
Well, me and her.
Oh, you and her. Yeah, no, that makes
1993 and no, 2025.
Wow. So you heard it here first, folks. Toronto Blue Jays fans, you're welcome. It was my daughter and my wife that made this happen. In the speed in which I edit these episodes, hopefully we'll get this out before, so then at least we have proof that we predicted the Toronto Blue Jays win.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Should intro this. This is the You're So Cool podcast. I'm Reggie, and you're...
Jada.
My...
wife.
And this podcast is generally two people getting to know each other, married. Baby on the way, clearly. Look at this friggin' thing. That dang thing right there. Okay, so now the next obvious thing to talk about. You're ready to pop. 8 months pregnant. Let's start there. How is it? And it's mid-August right now. It's been 30-something degree days every day. We're on a hardcore drought in Nova Scotia. Just wanted to preface with that. How are you feeling?
It's finally been cooler the last few days, so that's been freaking lovely. But otherwise, I've been so hot, so gross. My feet have been so swollen. I don't fit into any of my clothes. So it's been rough being at the end of your third trimester with such heat.
My heart has gone out to you, especially sleeping at night. It's been so brutal.
It's been rough.
Poor thing.
And like we could have the AC on, but it's like even when the AC is on, I still am not sleepless. Sometimes I sleep better without it on and just melting, which is so gross. But whatever, I don't know.
So what is sleep like with that big belly? You're just kind of just pendulum back and forth, rocking. Like you can only really be on your side, right? You got the pregnancy pillows.
Yeah, I can only be, ideally left side is what they say, right side is good too, not on your back, which I was never really a back sleeper anyway. I used to sleep all the time on my belly, which hasn't happened in many months.
You jealous when you look over and you see me belly sleeping? I'm like,
so jealous. But no, my little pregnancy wedges that keep me on my side, they're pretty good, but I just got flipped like a rotisserie chicken. I don't even know how often I flip, but it's got to be every half hour or something like that. But I still sleep decently even with all of the flipping, so that's good. But it's And almost every single time that I flip from one hip to the other one, I do a nice big stretch because my hips hurt, and that's why I end up having to flip because it starts aching, and then my hip just goes and pops out and it feels great, and then I flip to the other side and it's good.
The one thing I do like about the timing of your pregnancy is lots of vitamin D for developing baby, because we're getting a lot of sun, going a lot of walks. It's been so hot, so we're getting lots of vitamin D. I do like that for development, but it has been so uncomfortable.
Well, I like with my hams as...
Okay, so what's a hams?
It's, you know, when you get like a roast of ham, it's just like one big, long looking roast. That's what my feet have turned into. My sister coined the term hams, where it's just from your calf to the tip of your foot is just one long ham roast. So we call them hams. And my feet have gotten so swollen. Usually it's my right foot that gets way more swollen than my left, that like I wouldn't even fit into normal tie-up shoes. I've just been wearing Crocs, and if I can fit into them, my Birkenstocks. And even then they're very squished in there. But like in the wintertime, if I had to put boots on, I wouldn't be able to. It would be really rough. So that's one nice part about this being in the summer. But like, I would have rather have been pregnant like earlier by 2 months, so that, but then it would be rough having a brand newborn, and the newborn's all hot all the time too.
I kind of like that part of it. The fact that, yes, you have to suffer, which is awful, and my heart goes out to you. But the good part is when she's born, it's going to be just nesting time, coming into the fall, over the new year. She's tiny little baby. She's taking her vitamin D drops, so she'll get the happy hormones that way. And then it's nice for her to be comfortable at least. Whereas, yeah, it's a lot harder to cool her off than it is to heat her up. So that part of it I do like, but man, it has been so hard for you. So your canned hams, it was so cute the other day. We went for a walk and I could see, I looked over at your feet while we were walking, and you're wearing Birkenstocks, and the one foot looked normal, but the other one in between the strap was like gushing out. Your poor chubby little feet, and they're so small to begin with. There's nowhere to put the chub.
No, and it feels uncomfortable. Like when I first started getting them, I thought that there was like dirt or sand stuck in between my toes, but I just realized it was just the feeling of my toes touching each other because they were so swollen.
Poor baby. So it hasn't been easy. Even just getting up is hard, right? Your abs have now moved to the side. I have to pull you up. Yeah,
I can't sit up. I have to roll up.
You're getting the acid reflux, right? Like we bought stock in Tums.
Yep.
We're putting their kids through college.
It hasn't been too awful. Like I've probably only really taken Tums, I don't know, less than 10 times. But yeah, when I do get it, it's pretty freaking rough.
So there's that. What else was there? The cravings we talked about last time for sure. The sweet tooth. Anyways, I'm building a case because I asked you the other day because you were really uncomfortable. And I was like, would you do this again?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't want just one kid. So we'll be doing it again at some point.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if we could time it a little differently, I don't know. I don't know what the best time is to have a baby or anything, but this summer's just been rough. It's been super hot. Like I don't remember the last 2 summers of Nova Scotia being like this. It was usually quite nice and green. Everything outside, pretty much anyway, is brown and dead, which is like what Alberta's like at, mid to end of August. And then Alberta has been the complete opposite this summer, where they've gotten non-stop rain and everything is green and lush there. Super weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks like California here. Scorched lawns. It's brutal.
Yeah.
So I guess that is, what would you do different? You said you're not sure, but off the top of your head, if you were to plan in the perfect world, obviously this pregnancy was an accident, happy accident. But if you were to be, next time hopefully we can plan, what do you think would be better? Having the baby in June kind of thing?
I don't don't know. Like maybe, yeah, because then you'd have a new baby all summer, which could be nice. But then another option would be like baby in October or November, you know, like push it down.
Oh, so you still are pregnant, but the bump isn't as big, not as big. Uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting those third trimester leg cramps and heartburn and uncomfortable, don't fit in any clothes and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're more at that when it's a little bit cooler outside and you've got a cute little bump for your like Halloween fall pictures and stuff, that would be cute too. But I ideally I'd want to have like a cute little newborn for Christmas. I'm so excited for Christmas. I'm so excited.
What about Christmas is so exciting?
I just love Christmas. I love it so much. It's my favorite season of the entire year. I love all the music. I love the lights. I would have Christmas lights up every single day if I could. I do. They're just not Christmas colored, but I still have the twinkle lights up. And yeah, and the music. And then you just get to hang out with family for a whole day. And there's nothing else to do but watch movies and hang out with your family. I love Christmas. It's the best. And I love the music. Music and the lights. It's my favorite.
What's our plan? Like, I'm assuming we're not going to Ontario. We're not going to Alberta. We'll probably have a staycation Christmas because we're not going to be overly confident, I'm sure, in moving and shaking. And is that what's going down, you reckon?
I think so. I think we're just going to have a nice Christmas with us and our friends that are around, and we'll get to take pictures, family pictures at the nice fireplace hearth that we have here. Watch movies, hopefully get matching pajamas so that we can all be matching on our very first Christmas. Make a turkey that you won't eat.
Have a tofurkey. Have you ever heard of a tofurkey? It's like a tofu turkey.
Gross.
It is gross. I don't know why with vegetarian foods they feel as though, I guess I do understand why. They're trying to capitalize or make people have nostalgia. Why we have vegetarian proxies. Why can't there just be a different vegetarian thing? I guess those also do exist. But I don't like the trying to make a hamburger, a veggie burger, a hamburger where it's bleeding and it tastes like meat, or a tofurkey where it's supposed to be a tofu. Just be its own thing. Just have a slice of tofu. I don't see why we have the need to make these kind of gross proxies.
Well, I think maybe for someone like you who's been vegetarian/vegan on and off for a long time, that, yeah, I could see why you'd be like, I don't understand the proxy, but being somebody who still eats meat, not as much because we make food together, and so sometimes I just want to dig my teeth into a nice juicy burger. So like if I did ever make the decision to be fully vegetarian, no freaking way will I ever be vegan. I don't even think I'll ever be vegetarian because I love meat too much. But if I were to try to eat less meat, try to be healthier with my choices, I think that's where, you know, if you have that craving for a burger, that a vegetarian proxy that's similar to a meat burger could be enticing. But like I know you've said before, sometimes they make them with their worse ingredients than just a beef burger.
Well, yeah, because if you have a burger, theoretically, one would hope if you're getting from a good, especially a butcher instead of some grocery store, you're hoping that there's no preservatives, therefore it's just 100% beef. Whereas these proxies are chemicals and gums and what's your base? Like, I think some bean burgers hold together better and there are less ingredients in some of them, but still preservatives and coagulates, all this gross. And at the end of the day, even as a vegetarian for, I don't even know, 20 long time, it's healthier just to eat meat than, and a lot of these milk proxies as well. Milk is a little more interesting. I guess meat as well with hormones. And are you okay? What's this?
Yeah, she's just trying to bust out my side. So I'm trying to stick her foot back in.
That was another thing I should have mentioned during the audit of things. You're getting kicked through your ribs.
Yes. Yeah, she is very strong already. And she tries to always escape right out through here, like she just did. She's head down. Back seems to be here, and legs are constantly kicking me over here. Like, yeah.
Well, she better not bust out. Can you imagine this? All of a sudden, we're just sitting here and just a little foot just...
Yeah.
We would get some spackle immediately or some drywall and just back over, make sure she's...
Get in there, yeah.
A diet thing is very interesting because I have been a vegetarian for so long, and you are the exact opposite, being especially a Calgary girl. Loves the beef.
Beef.
Calgary, Alberta. Beef, that's our...
Beef.
Whoa. So how has it been for you? Last night we had cabbage steaks. I loved it. That was right up my alley. But I obviously naturally, I'm fine to cook you meat, for the record. Like if you ever said, oh, I've made you burgers, you know this. And anything else that I mean, it's just my mind doesn't automatically go there. So I assume just by proxy, you're having less meat. Have you noticed a difference? How do you feel? Do you miss it at times?
Yeah, it's been... The meat part hasn't so been difficult. Was any of that English?
Didn't know you spoke Corinthian. Continue.
The meat part hasn't been as difficult as the gluten-free part has been a little bit more difficult for me, because growing up there's a lot of casseroles in our family recipe books, and most of those casseroles are pasta based. And you have a little bit of a thing for white sauces, which a lot of you don't like white gelatinous things. Do you want to tell us something about your past?
I'm worried, definitely not to make light of awful things that have happened to people, but I often joke that something may have happened sexually to me in my past, because I am so disgusted by white gelatinous things, including even milk. Never liked the look of milk. When kids were drinking milk, never liked it. Still don't really like it. And sour cream, cottage cheese.
Who likes cottage cheese, really, on its own?
I tried it. It's really good.
It's really good for you. And when you put it in stuff, you don't even know. But on its own...
Always credit where credit's due. It's really tasty. It's just the look of it. I cannot do it. Sour cream, mayo. So yeah, people do joke with me of, where did the man touch you? Show me where the man touched you. Nothing happened as far as I know. But white creamy things, no. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So, if I see it even being made, like you made a mayo thing that I'm like, but there was that one curry mayo pasta with carrot in it. It was really good. And I remember eating it and eating it and eating it. And I was like, yeah, well, so what is this? And you're like, you sure you want to know?
Yeah, it was a little bit more yellow, obviously, with the curry powder in it. But the other one that I made, just the macaroni salad.
That one was a lot harder. Yeah.
That one was hard for you.
Macaroni salad was tough. I had to add the hot sauce. I need at least a rosé, and then if it's a rosé and I knew the original base, I can still have problems with it. So
you did okay with the tahini.
Yeah,
yeah. Because it looks just like hummus. That's what I said.
That was the key.
I brought it out, being like, this looks just like hummus. Same color as hummus.
I don't know what it is. But it's one of those things too, a lot of things, and I'm definitely in the minority, but a lot of things I'm in the minority in, I can look at them and say, oh, I get it. It's just not for me. White stuff, I'm in the minority. People love mayonnaise, that donair sauce. Oh. Even thinking about it makes me want to vomit. I'm in the minority, but I look at those things and I'm like, how? Who can do this?
Sour cream. Oh. Can't even do nachos without sour cream.
We should eat nachos tonight.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I bought all the stuff. But yeah, the vegetarian piece hasn't been, getting back to your question, the vegetarian piece hasn't been too difficult. I've always wanted to eat healthier, which like I said, my Canadian, 8th generation Canadian diet was mostly pasta, potatoes, meat, so not as many veggies in there. Now we're eating a lot more veggies, which I love. But the harder part has been have to find gluten-free pasta, which we found a couple now that are pretty decent. But sometimes it's just like, I just want a freaking gluten pasta with white sauce and bacon on it. And when I have those cravings, I'll make them, like the macaroni salad. I had been craving that for weeks. So then finally I made it and I was like, I don't know if you'll like it, but this is mostly for me anyway. So, but then the other things that we've made or that you've made, like all the different curry stir fries and you've thrown the tofu in it, or you've thrown in some polenta in it before, like super tasty. Very good. Yeah. I do miss bacon, but I mean, it's good to not be eating so much bacon.
It is interesting because not only through our relationship are you maybe eating a little healthier, but also through pregnancy with prenatals and probiotics. So yeah, it's interesting to think, it's also tough to tell because obviously your body's going through something completely different than usual. So the control isn't there, but are you feeling healthier in a way? Is this, and a better question is this something you'll try to maintain? Taking supplements like there's vitamin D in your prenatals and folic acid. Is that something you'll consider once pregnancy's done? Still keeping up with probiotics?
Yeah, no, I've been feeling quite healthy. I mean, I went through like the few years before you, there was a time when I was very skinny, had a very stressful job, wasn't really eating much anyway. And then it kind of bounced to the opposite side where I was eating a lot of food. I gained a lot of weight and I became the biggest I'd ever been before having a baby. I would say I've struggled with being like, a good baseline of healthy on both ends of the spectrum. But I am feeling really good. I really enjoy eating good stuff. I can see that it does make me feel much different. And then obviously after having a baby, getting back to pre-pregnancy weight, but also not too skinny. I never want to get back to being as thin as I once was. I'm in my early 30s, gonna have a baby, want to teach our kids about being healthy. And I also have always been wanting to get a sort of habit of being healthier, working out. Maybe it doesn't always have to be an intense exercise at the gym or anything like that, but just consistently moving your body. And so that by the time I'm in my 40s, 50s, it's not as difficult of a battle to be healthy because you just have made it part of your lifestyle. So I'm excited to keep it going. And then you're so interesting with all your different life health hacks and all your interest in that and stuff too. So yeah, I like it. It's good. Yeah,
as a 40-year-old on the cusp of Sacropecia kicking in, and well, that's still like a couple of years away. But your point is right, it's never too early to start. The more you build up a healthy lifestyle, the better health span you're gonna have. And that's one of my favorite saying is that I want to die young, as old as possible. And yeah, we go through our 20s and definitely me into my 30s of just kind of living it up, and your body is resilient and bounces back. But as a 40-year-old, I can definitely say it starts to absolutely slow down. My metabolism is not what it used to be, and I can't put on, lean muscle like I used to. But this is where now one can start using supplements, I have intermittent fast every single day, and start using some of these body hacks to work with our aging bodies. And the earlier you start those things, I'm jealous that you're on this path so early. I think I was a lot later than you, because there's no doubt now at 40, it's funny, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm the healthiest I've ever been, but man, am I having to put in the work. I'm at the gym every single day that I'm at work. I'm taking supplements. I'm forcing myself to intermittent fast every single day. I'm cognizant of my sleep, all the above. And it's totally paying off and it's worth it. And it also teaches discipline and all that good stuff that we would want to pass on to our child. But yeah, anyone out there, start thinking about health and work it the way that you want to, because even like you said, it doesn't have to be arduous exercise if you don't want to. Just make sure you move, though. We are not sedentary creatures. We're supposed to move. We're supposed to be getting out and doing our version of exercise every single day. I thought I almost closed a ring there. 200.
Does it think you're walking when you're rocking?
I don't know. I better check my heart rate here.
He got a health, what are they called? A smartwatch. And now he checks his stats every half hour.
Okay, we're looking good. We're in the 70s for beats per minute. Yeah, this is
bad for him.
Thank you. And my wife is keeping tabs on me. So my mother always used to say that she never wanted to try poutine, which is Canada's national dish for the international folks. Fries, gravy, cheese curds. It has to be curds. It can't be that shredded garbage. Which also, my wife tipped me off. Don't eat that shredded cheese garbage. They clearly put something chemical in it to make sure it doesn't all stick together. Because when you shred cheese, it always sticks together. That's a good thing. We want our cheese to stick together. So please don't eat those, and vote with your dollar, and maybe these companies will stop making it and or make it more responsibly. Anyways, my mom always avoided poutine because she thought she would like it too much. And hey, as someone who indulges in poutine once in a while, agreed. The smart watches were my poutine because I love stats. I love checking my sleep every night. I love checking heart rate. I love checking my blood pressure. So I purposefully avoided getting one of these. And then recently, some friends of ours were shutting down their antique store. And he said, "Oh, do you want this smartwatch? I have no use for it." It was completely free. And I kind of told myself, well, this is the universe giving me a smartwatch. And now I'm
obsessed. Completely obsessed.
I can't stop.
No, you can't.
It's getting...
It's not a horrible thing to be obsessed with. There's much worse things you could be, so...
It's funny, too, because it's like a company I've never even heard of. I noticed it doesn't even measure distance in kilometers. It's in Mazda Miatas, so there's that. I'm getting my steps in, checking my heart rate, and I like to do it at cutesy times, such as like if we share a kiss or something, I check it and I'm like, oh, I'm spiking. And it's true, though. The cute thing is it is true. I can see in my heart rate when I get to work and I sit at my desk and work, my heart rate's really low. I go work out. It gets high, and then it dips, and then when I come home, it peaks again. That's science. That's like, I can sit here and tell you I love you, which is true, but science says that I love you.
Yeah.
So thank you, smartwatch.
Thank you, John and Marlene, for the lovely gifts. So many amazing things.
So many amazing things. But I'm obsessed. Anyways, so fun to talk about all this stuff. And I look forward to passing it on to her, while also, of course, letting her be a kid and have fun and grow up and make mistakes. Because now I'm extremely health conscious. But my mom was always very health forward, always, with alternative foods that you find in the natural food section back in like the 90s when people are eating the worst of the worst. And I remember, and my mom was very much into like yoga and stretching, and I remember rejecting everything my mom did and being like, no, I want to use plastics and blah, 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 blah. Don't need specific examples. But now it's funny because I totally say to her, I am now you. And I'm grateful that she gave me that scaffolding. However, there needed to be a time of rebellion, which every kid goes through.
Of course.
And our child would be no different. So,
like when our baby is old enough to go and buy her own things at the, gas station, she is going to go insane for soda because we're not going to have pop in the house. Not for her, which is good. It's a good thing. We've agreed on it. But like at parties and stuff like that at other places, sure, there's a time and place for pop, but not just in the house. So she's going to go through the same thing. When she gets that freedom, it's going to be, what kid doesn't just buy a ton of candy when you finally have money for your own candy? But she'll at least have a good foundation of liking good, healthy foods, fruits, veggies. And then she'll no bacon. Like she's not going to be a vegetarian. She'll get to choose when she's old enough to choose, but I ain't cutting out meat anytime soon. Like I told you, I still want to at the special occasions that come up in life, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, where normally there's a turkey or a ham or something. I'd still like to make those for me because that's what I enjoy so much from that. You don't have to eat it. Bob can eat it, but then we'll have leftovers for turkey sandwiches, ham sandwiches. I don't have to cut all of that stuff out just because you're a vegetarian. And if you want to eat some, you absolutely can if you want to. But yeah, I think it we'll make it. We've made it work so far anyway, and it works.
Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm a big time libertarian when it comes to diets and what, including intimate, my own wife eats. None of my business. So same with her. If she wants to be carnivore diet, sure. If she wants to do vegetarian, sure. And she's allowed to make whatever choices when she's of sound mind to do so. Oh, which also makes me think we had a big, long parenting talk. Remember, we had a parenting summit of how we're going to, being in psychology, I have this big, long document of strategies and different games for cognitive development and all this stuff. We had such a good discussion, but I do think we need to do it again, only because I don't remember. But I obviously diet was a part of it. And I just feel like we came to some really good conclusions. It felt very fluid. We felt very much on the same page. Maybe that will change once we get into things. But it feels really good to sit down with my partner to prep ourselves and how we're going to handle parenting. And it might all go out the window. But it was just a really nice precursor to what we're about to get into. And I feel so confident and at ease. And I think we'll navigate this really well. Mm-hmm. It can all go to hell.
But yeah, who knows? But I think not that this is a business relationship, but most relationships are. There's still a piece where we're in this together and we have to work on things together. That's how relationships need to work to make it actually work. But yeah, if you have something big coming up and you meet and you plan and are both on the same page of, what we're going to do, then you execute the plan. That's the best way to go about anything. So just like in business, do in life too. And yeah, I think I wonder with our conversation that we had, I think a lot of it had to do with more just kind of beginnings of having a child and stuff. And then I know even with the different podcasts that you've shared with me from your giant list of all the different things you have, I've been picking and choosing the ones that are more relevant to the beginning, the first few years, because the ones about, when they're more a teenager, I'm we've got over a decade to worry about that, and who knows what the world's going to be like in 10 years, 15 years from now. So let's worry about that when we have to worry about it, and let's just focus on what we need to focus on right now for her first few years of life. And there's so much information out there. There's so much different opinions, obviously, of what you should and shouldn't do. And then there's some that are backed by actual science and psychology and everything too. I just said and everything. And then even just learning so much about pregnancy, childbirth, and labor, you know, the first few weeks after all that, like that's been what I've been focusing on. Plus the first 2 years of baby's life and how important mom is to baby psychology. And there's only so much I can retain, but also in a way handle. You know, I want to focus on that, and the rest of it we'll get to when we need to get there. But yeah, there's a lot on both of our plates right now. So let's just keep it to what is relevant in this time period that we're about to go into.
You nailed it. That was funny when it was like, okay, we're having our parenting meeting. Here's all the things I want to share and discuss. And you're like, whoa. And I needed some reality check when I was like, okay, let's start. So I laid out all my things, and now we'll start, we'll work through these podcasts. And you're like, okay, all this Jonathan hates stuff about, you know, the anxious minds of teenagers. Maybe we give that a little bit of time so I can focus on attachment and the importance of primary caregiver for the first 2 years. And maybe we wait on the teenage stuff until we're like, you know, a couple years out. And I sat there and was like, yeah. Because right now we're going through such a transitionary period of the wild west of social media and the internet, and figuring out a scaffolding of how children, and studies are now going on, led in part by Jonathan Haidt, in terms of how children should be guided into the internet and smartphones and all these things. So either by the time our child's there, there'll be some kind of scaffolding in place that people understand. There are studies, or it's going to be something completely different anyway, with AI and augmented and virtual reality and all this stuff. So to your point, parents out there of children of that age, please look into these things. But yeah, we're looking at like attachment, and we're looking at the importance of the primary caregiver for those first 2 years, and how important it is to have you at home, and the focus of the two of you forming a secure bond. That's where we're focusing right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is very interesting stuff anyway to know about it and to keep that stuff in mind, even for our own health. Anxious generation, but like we're still susceptible to all that stuff of doom scrolling, social media, looking at other people's lives on social media that aren't realistic, and then comparing your own life to that. It's the same stuff. It just is maybe a little bit different when you're more of an adult and everything, but I keep on saying and everything.
You do.
You have to cut it out when I say that.
I will. So yeah, it will be cut on. Maybe not this one, so we can have this of us talking about it, but it will be cut on the. Oh, don't cut this.
I don't want this on either.
And I'll cut out that
So, no filler words either.
Just right into it.
Just right into it. It's very interesting stuff to still keep in mind, but we'd only have to really worry about, you know, a few things right now. Let's focus on that stuff, worry about the other things as we get to it. Yeah, make it more manageable. There's a lot. No matter what we do, there will be something we don't do perfectly. We are not perfect beings, and even if we did do everything perfectly, our kid will find something to be difficult with us about, no matter what. That's what kids do.
Just to mention, we last podcast talked a little bit about our child's name, but we gave some hints, but we're holding it back, at least for this. Other people very much know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But you keep calling our child Bub, and I just want to mention that's not the name.
No, that's just her nickname.
But it also is a hint toward her name.
A little bit.
That's all. Just saying. There's a hint.
No big deal. Yeah.
I just want to double back on some of the health stuff, because something happened within our experience with the medical community through being pregnant that I would like to public service announcement for expecting mothers. So you were potentially diagnosed with preeclampsia. Is that
I
correct?
had factors that could show that I may be at risk for preeclampsia.
And they rightly prescribed to you aspirin?
Yeah, low dosage, what is sometimes referred to as baby aspirin, to start taking in between weeks, I want to say 16 to 20, or it might even be earlier than that, but they have studies that have shown that if you take low dosage aspirin before 16 weeks, that it drastically reduces your chances of having preeclampsia later in pregnancy.
Awesome. So glad everybody's healthy so far. Everything's great. However, every bodily decision we make has trade-offs. And I disliked, for the record, that the healthcare professionals prescribed to you aspirin daily without anything to offset the negative aspects of aspirin. So I would obviously like everyone to speak to a doctor first. However, in the future, if anyone watching this is diagnosed potentially with preeclampsia and is prescribed aspirin every single day, it is also science fact that aspirin can eat away at our microgut biome. And I think that's important for the mothers out there, that if this is prescribed to you, to talk to your healthcare professional about offsetting the negative consequences of taking aspirin every single day. Absolutely low dose, that's great. And it's not doing as much as adult aspirin, but at the end of the day, it is still eating away at your gut microbiome, which is our baby's gut microbiome. The fetus gets their gut microbiome through the mother into breastfeeding even. When being breastfed, babies being inoculated and fed gut bacteria. And gut bacteria basically makes our entire system function in homeostasis and be healthy. So this is major stuff. And I would at least like to get it out there to ask the questions.
I do wonder if, because just especially at that time, when I got that ultrasound done, I was about 13 weeks pregnant. I was in the middle of moving soon. I just moved back from Nova Scotia, didn't have an Alberta doctor, and then I'm just about to move back from Alberta to Nova Scotia, so needed to get a Nova Scotia doctor. I'm in this weird, not only space of living in one province but moving to another, but then also just with my timing of pregnancy at 13 weeks. In Alberta, you see your family doctor up until 20 weeks. Once you're at 20 weeks, then you start seeing an OB. So I didn't have a family doctor. I was just seeing a doctor that was around in my neighborhood, and no one would see me from a maternity clinic because I was under 20 weeks. And then because I was moving to Nova Scotia didn't want anything to do with me until I was in the province of Nova Scotia. So I'm in this weird zone of nobody really being able to help me. I did have this one doctor. I probably could have done better in asking those questions of, okay, now I'm going to take this. What are the possible side effects of taking aspirin on a daily basis? And maybe they would have given me information. Maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know.
The problem with aspirin is that it's so common and over the counter that one doesn't even think to say, what are the side effects of this? Obviously, if you're given something that's a bit of a nuclear bomb, even just like chemotherapy, they're going to tell you this is mega stuff, here are the negative consequences. The thing that bothers me, or maybe doesn't, bothers me, but the thing that I would like to be known about aspirin, is that it has side effects, and it's just so common. Like people even with heart trouble, preeclampsia is a very similar thing in terms of the blood pressure side of it. People with heart problems often take aspirin, baby aspirin every day to thin the blood because that's what aspirin does. But the side effects for your gut are huge. But it's over the counter and anyone can go buy and take a million of them if you want. So I think the public just in general kind of doesn't think twice about it. The healthcare practitioners, I would have liked if they had mentioned this to you, but I'm also not surprised that they didn't, just because it's aspirin and aspirin's just this common thing. But I would like to do my part for what it's worth. It makes me feel better to mention this, and for the 100 people who watch this, just a note like that's, and to talk to your doctor. I'm not saying for every single person who's diagnosed with preeclampsia to take probiotics. I'm not saying that. It's just something when somebody tells you to take something, there are trade-offs, and to question it and to ask. I think that's important. And maybe that particular person doesn't need probiotics, and that's great. With you, then, we've checked with your now steady doctor here in Nova Scotia, and they've approved them. And I personally just feel better knowing that our daughter and you are getting that healthy gut biome.
Yeah, from the probiotics.
Exactly. So so that's what we ended up doing. We offset, you're still taking the aspirin every day as per doctor's orders. I got no problem with that. However, we chose to look further into it and to ask your now doctor about offsetting it with probiotics, and they approved. So problem solved. We've offset the negative consequences of the thing that maybe even saved everybody's life, right? Which is terrific. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyways, I just want to put that out there just to make me feel better about life and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the medical community has been great. It really has been. One thing I love that we found out when we went to the doctor and had that visit is that our baby gets vitamin D drops. The fact that they think about those things for further care and for the little one who isn't going to get as much sunlight. Canadian medical system provides vitamin D drops for baby, especially since we'll be going into the winter when she's just wee. And she's a person and she wants positive, happy hormones too. I think that's super cool. Credit where credit's due.
Yep. Yeah, the medical people here have been really good so far, so that's good.
Look at that pink and black attack nail polish. My Brett the Hitman Hart wife here, Calgary wife.
Yeah. Usually always do black. Wanted to try something new. Didn't want to try it all the way, so.
Pink and black attack.
Didn't even mean to be your favorite dude.
It was pretty exciting when I met and then married a Calgarian because of Brett. So it's like this little attachment to the Hart family, even though you've never been to the mansion, which I find weird. But anyways, we're going to, next time we're in Calgary, we're going to the mansion.
I didn't even really know who he was before you said anything. Yeah. I think on our first date, you showed me, love Wolverine.
Probably showed you that
love
too.
Brett the Hitman Hart.
Probably showed
He's
you
from
that
Calgary,
too.
And I'm like, who is that?
Probably showed you that too.
Yeah.
Probably showed you that one too.
Yeah.
That one. Babe, my chest hair, should I shave it for baby?
No, she don't want the prickly. I don't want the prickly.
But for skin to skin, this isn't going to be skin. This is going to be skin to fur.
Yeah, and it's going to be nice and soft and cushy. She's going to love it.
I've really let it. This is the longest I've. And it's funny. We've talked. I've shown you that my grays in my chest only go one way. I got a gray comb over. What's that about?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I'm only getting gray on one side.
No, not in your beard or your hair. Just your chest.
Okay, so we're leaving.
Leave the furriness, yes. The prickliness will not do. She will not be happy.
This button is covered in bruschetta. How old?
Ew. Don't do that.
Why is this button covered in bruschetta?
I don't know.
That's a good hashtag. Maybe we should throw that hashtag on this episode. This button's covered in bruschetta. So we're sitting in... Where are we sitting?
The nursery. Yeah, it's almost all set up. We've done pretty well. We're almost set. There's a few things coming from Amazon that we needed, little newborn diapers for the first week when she's, going through her...
Marconia? Is that how you say it?
Or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because it's kind of gross. But anyway, because we have chosen to do the cloth diaper way, which will be very interesting.
Blowing people's minds when we tell them
totally
that
is.
one.
It will be quite the process for sure. But I mean, it's better for the environment. It's better for baby, and saving on diaper costs, which is always good. But yeah, I mean, the first week when she's, her system is adjusting to having milk, you don't want that tarry stuff on the reusable diapers that we have. So getting some nice organic bamboo, everything free diapers. So those are coming in the mail. And then just got to set up a few things still, but yeah, we're pretty well set.
We blew some minds with the diapers thing.
Yeah, even people have jokingly said like, "Oh, we'll just get you some cloth diapers," and we're like, "No, that's what we're doing."
Yeah, what should we get you? Some cloth diapers? And we're like, no, seriously, it just made sense from every angle. It was cheaper, it's better for the environment, and the biggest thing, especially having a little girl, is she has an exposed membrane. And to have it up against, like, no offense to anyone who you parent however the heck you want. Our specific situation was, this is a newborn with an exposed membrane, and to have it up against plastics and chemicals, like, it just doesn't make sense to us. And I personally, I'll speak for me, I am willing to break my back labor-wise to make sure she has clean diapers, as long as it is saving her from that chemical exposure. It just makes sense to me. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. No judgment to anyone else. You do you, boo-boo. But this was just an absolute no-brainer. And another big thing is, for baby clothes, buy used, get used. Again, the environment, holla, but also a lot of microplastics in new clothing. Which leads me to looking around this room, the clothes that we've gotten, the furniture, the baby toys. It takes a village, and we are so lucky and so grateful, the people who have helped us. It's been a little lucky for me. Like, I was so upset having a child so late in life. I feel like so late, obviously it could be much later. But I watched all my friends become parents, and I'm sitting here going, oh, when do I get my time? But the perk of that is that all my friends are done with their baby stuff. So now we get it, which is awesome. But the key then is, obviously, once we're done with it, we pay it forward and we hook up some young family who, that's the beautiful side of having a baby, is it really, like, corporations sell things that have less chemicals in it because nobody wants to poison a baby. Your friends in your community come together to help with furniture and clothes. Babies really do bring the best out in everybody. And it's been so, I look around here and it makes me so just feeling loved and loving other people, of what friends, family, and even some close to strangers have done for us for a lot of this stuff. So thank you, everybody, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. And our child is so grateful, so thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been so lovely. So many goodies.
It looks good in here. The big thing that I had this aha moment the other day was the crib. We're so lucky to have this crib. I think it's multiple hands. We know it's at least from somebody else, but it might be further generations back. I believe it is, actually. But the one thing I like, pairing my psychology classes to just using them in real life, is we in weird nations, we are used to a carpentered world, which is just right angles and straight lines, which, if you look at our species as ancestral beings, there are no such things as straight lines or right angles in nature. So we have now evolved our brains to seeing these straight lines by living in these houses. But as soon as you go out into nature, there's a calming aspect of being in that chaos, that kind of beautiful chaos. So putting these things together, I was thinking, I looked at this crib And obviously our child will not have any perception of what a prison is. So I don't think our child's going to be in that crib thinking she's in any kind of prison. However, I do look at those very straight lines and right angles, and I think it is necessary. But it would be, first of all, it'd be cool if there was a crib that emulated nature and was like these beautiful interwoven posts to keep her safe. But obviously this is more weird world. So I was thinking, how can we make it have a little more love to it, to feel a little more nature-like? And we came up with the idea of painting the inside and using soft pastel colors, so they're not too
overstimulating.
Not too stimulating, especially when the crib is meant for rest. So using pastel covers and putting some wavy lines up the posts of the crib. So then she's getting stimulation of looking at different there's this awful study, absolutely awful study I was telling Jada about, where these cats were raised in a box of all horizontal lines for their first literal years of life. Awful, like so awful. And then they took these cats out and they found that they would only play with horizontal lines. They couldn't see vertical lines. So believe me, that I was in a crib, you were likely in a crib, we all were in cribs. It's just something that does exist. It is something that I feel like it's an opportunity where we can just add something a little different to maybe stimulate her brain. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Does that make sense to you? I'll look deeper into it before we commit to anything, because also we don't want it to be too stimulating in there, because we don't want it to keep her up. We want to develop a good circadian rhythm and sleep pattern where, and that's where I loved, because I did picture more vivid colors, and it was your suggestion to do more pastels, which I think is brilliant. But you like the idea?
Yeah. Like I was even just thinking, like the big back piece, like what if we made it where it's like a tree in the trunk in the middle, and then the top part are like little branches with leaves and stuff and whatever. Like, yeah, just make it more cutesy, kiddish, and fun, magical. I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
And we are animals, so getting back to nature and all that fun stuff. We get lost in the fact that we have AI and smartphones and podcasts and Zenith televisions and Nintendo Power Gloves and CD-ROMs and Discmans and zip drives and 3.5-inch floppy disks and power bars and...
I don't think we have a lot of those things anymore.
I want a Nintendo oh my God, for our wedding, my nephew, Kyle, he just, right before our wedding, got a Nintendo Power Glove. Have you ever seen one of these? You're younger than me. This existed before you were born. It was by Nintendo. It was a glove that you put on, and it had a controller on it, and it had a sensor on the top of the hand, and you could point it for like a driving game or like a shooting game. And it had the thing here. So this, and picture the design of like 80s.
Yeah.
Very stark, like that brutalist, kind of like the original Nintendo. So it's super freaking cool. I was never lucky enough to have one, but my nephew bought one right before our wedding. I was like, Kyle, please bring it to our wedding. I want to take photos with the Nintendo Power Glove for our wedding. But he got nervous at the last minute going over the border that they'd be like, what is this? Is this a weapon? Is this some kind of bomb?
Yeah, interesting.
But now that, I'm an adult and, we can have some kind of disposable income at some point, I wouldn't mind picking up a Nintendo Power Glove.
All right.
And I've said, and you can quote me on this, I would wear it as a fashion piece.
Absolutely, you would.
I'm sure most people buy them and just put them on display. I would wear mine out into the world and just be like, this is my Nintendo Power Glove.
Fun.
They also had a play mat, I think they called it, almost like Dance Dance Revolution, where you'd step on I never had that either. I never had any of the fun Nintendo stuff. And they had a weird robot at one point, I think. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We've been going to the drive-in. I don't know if we've mentioned. Did we mention this in the last one?
I feel like we maybe did.
Did we?
But I don't remember. Because there's like, how many podcasts have we done that you haven't edited yet?
Yeah, it's hard. It really is hard to keep up and to edit and to be in school and work, having a relationship.
Baby and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I wish it was easier, but I have to edit between... Are you playing with that elephant? What's the elephant's name again?
Mike.
Robin and James gave us this as Mike the elephant.
It's very soft.
Is it?
Yeah.
This tusk right here.
It's got a nice
That tusk is very
tail.
askew compared to that one. He's got a good tail?
Yeah,
it's very
soft. It's almost softer than Henny.
Yeah, oh my God, that cat. Remember the other day I was at the sink and he just randomly ran and jumped and clawed into my legs?
He clawed into my inner thigh, my meaty thigh, when I was on an important phone call with somebody from work. And I wasn't talking at the time. The other person was talking. He jumped onto my thigh, dug in with claws. I still have a bruise. And that's got to be like 3 weeks ago. I almost launched that cat into outer space.
He probably would have liked it. He's a weird masochist.
He ran away because he knew that he was in a lot of trouble.
I'm not going to lie. That's my favorite moment with Henny is when he does something and he knows he's not supposed to and he's
crossed the line.
Gone. Because I remember once you playing with him and he got fed up and actually dug into you.
Yeah.
And he did not stay and fight.
Nope. He knows. I have taught all of my cats when there's a line that you can play, and if you cross that line, you're dead.
One thing we did today that I just want to mention just for my nostalgia when we're old and watching these podcasts. This morning we had outdoor family breakfast where we feed the dog and the cat outside and we hang out on the deck and have our hot beverage. Is that not just a little slice of heaven?
It's dreamy. It's so nice. And it wasn't too hot this morning.
Did smell like campfire because there is an awful fire going on.
There's lots of fires right now.
But you do fear, we're in Nova Scotia where Americans maybe listen to this, y'all think y'all own the bald eagle and it's clearly your brand, it's a thing. You would not believe how many bald eagles are in Nova Scotia. You are a little nervous about one of them cacaing down and sinking their claws into Mr. Hendricks, who's got a big fat belly.
He's got a big fat belly. He's black, so like he's easy to
Heat
spot.
score, yeah.
Yeah, for the eagles. I mean, if I was an eagle, I'd be like, that's a good meal right there. And all they got to do is come and swipe down and grab him because he's not going to fight back. So.
You don't think he would?
No, I don't think he'd know what to do. I think he'd be pretty much toast. He's got no street cred. None.
One of my favorite things is trying to get the dog to eat him. I think it's one of the funniest things.
She also would never. She wouldn't hurt a fly.
I saw her snap at him a little bit. Snap. Not that makes it sound like it was angry. She has no anger in her.
No.
But she did.
Yeah, she'll nibble when she's excited. But no, she is, I don't know, more than 10 times bigger than that cat, and she is scared of him.
I don't know about 10 times.
At least.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess weight-wise, right? Because Henny's 12?
Yeah,
No,
Henny's
so
like
that
12
time
pounds,
they'll be-
and Cody's like 75, 80 pounds.
Oh.
But even size-wise, like she's... If you want to be real specific about it, we can go
Can you
measure them
imagine
later and
that cat
do some
times-
volume checks and see how much she truly is bigger than him.
Are we doing science later? What science did we do the other? Oh, right. The big debate for anyone who takes the highway from Kentville to Wolfville to go to Acadia University, I guess specifically Robin, because the only person thing, or my other coworker, Taylor, lives in Kentville. Okay, so yeah, for y'all listening, which I'm sure neither of you are, we have run a scientific experiment and we have found that it is faster to take the highway than to go through town. This is very esoteric. Anyone watching this right now is like, whoa, who gives a flying any of this? But we ran some science.
Yep.
And we used a stop. You drove your car. I ran the stopwatch.
Yep.
And we did both routes.
We did.
Now, I do want to introduce the third route of taking Belcher Street. Ooh, was that your hip?
That was my knee.
God, you're a creaky lady. Oh, somebody's dead. We're coming. We're back. Can you click on me when you have a chance? How much headroom do I have, by the way?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
How high?
Like your head's right in the middle.
Where's my hand in and out?
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. That's the top.
So I'm in the middle.
Your head is in the middle.
Oh my God, that's awful frame. But this is what that's not your fault. This is not having a camera person. This is what happened.
But I told you, I was like, you're way further away than all the other.
Yeah, I'm okay with being further away, but headroom should be right here.
No.
Well, what can you do? You need a camera person. Can we please, for the love of...
I told you I could take a video recording so that you could see it, and you said no.
You are absolutely correct about that. I own it. I'm not blaming you at all. This is all on me, that I am so poorly framed in this.
What am I? Do
you look
just
great.
See my freaking toe?
You look great, but I know I'm a trained, seasoned filmmaker. I am the one to blame. I have to take responsibility because of that. This is my and you are perfectly framed, especially in this pose. I feel like an absolute fool that we recorded all that, and I was so poorly framed. That's probably so much better.
Yeah.
Is that so much better? This is just what you get not having a crew, doing things blind. And you know what? Also,
now you really see your crotch.
Also, a little bit of hubris. You know what? And I need to own that. And I would like everybody at home to get an example of how somebody can own their hubris. I was a little too cocky. You were like, "Hey, do you wanna record a video and take a look at it?" And I said no. I was so cocky about it.
Moose knuckle.
Don't friggin', I got a pee stain too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but you get what you get. You know, you get what you get and you don't complain. Yeah, we need a crew. We're hiring. If anyone is interested, we're hiring.
But we're not going to pay you.
Interns. That conversation was so riveting that people won't even notice.
That was intense.
Yeah, babe.
I don't think I've ever cracked it. Well, my big toe cracks when you bend it, but
yeah, that was weird. The other day I was playing with your big toe and it cracked every single time. But then when you move it, it doesn't.
No, it's just when you manually bend it, it cracks.
See, that's the funny thing. Now we have a perfect frame, and now we have nothing to talk about. Now we're done.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, driving experiments. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, so I want to add Belcher to the...
Belcher?
Yeah, I want to take a third way. Although I forget the exact time. The highway was 1 minute faster. That was almost a full minute faster than taking through the town. The question was, because the town is more of a straight shot, the highway up, over, down, however, increased speeds, no traffic lights, no traffic. This is Nova Scotia. There's no real rush hour. So,
except every now and then you get stuck behind somebody going 20 kilometers below the freaking speed limit.
You know, it would be okay if people want to drive slow, if the roads had the room to get around. And, you know, often when we drive to the South Shore, I find we're getting trapped behind people too. It's just, there's no real infrastructure of multiple lanes and all that.
But why do people have to go 20 kilometers under the speed limit? That's also unsafe.
It is. Let's get our minds out of that. We got a month left until baby's here. What's the plan? How do you want... Okay, let me preface. A lot of people have been asking me, are you so excited about your daughter? And I keep saying it's a complicated question. The short answer is yes, endlessly excited. But the long answer is I'm really trying to savor this time with you. So, of course, I want her to come. I want to meet her. I'm pumped being a dad. Woo. But I also, she can like come on time, and I'm going to really soak up being able to sleep. I'm going to soak up this little bit of freedom and soak up time with you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense to you since you're in the same boat as me in terms of situation?
Mm-hmm. One thing, years ago, I took this one course by this lady named Melissa Joy Johnson. Very interesting woman, very lovely. I've done 2 of her courses before, and I have her 2 books. Real short, she has a background in physics. She worked for the pharmaceutical industry for a really long time, but then she got this like calling to help with energy healing and energy work. And there's also this way that the physics background kind of fits in with that.
Who called? You said she had a calling. Who called her?
Being difficult. Anyway, her teachings are very interesting. I'd still very frequently think about them and the different fields of energy that you can access and stuff like that. One of them, I can't remember the number of it now anyway, is this I love you and one, where it's this thing about where pretty much it's just because you were talking about it, instead of using the word but, and I'm sure that you've probably heard this before, that you say anything and then the word but something, that whatever you said before doesn't apply anymore. The but almost cancels it all out. So that's why this specific energy field that you can like access the energies to is called I love you and I remember, even because I was young when I first started learning about that, there was, even in my psychology sessions with my lovely psychologist, Joanna Card, which I don't even know where I would be today without her. She is so unbelievably fantastic. We love her very much.
Thank you.
We would do these different exercises where, again, it's like, I love you and I'm not okay with what you're doing, blah, 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 where it doesn't cancel out the thing that you were saying before. So to take what you said about being excited to meet our little one, our daughter, and have our lives change so drastically, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet her. And at the same time, our lives are going to completely change, which I know from multiple people, everyone who's ever had a kid, that yes, you will miss pieces of your old life, but you would never trade it back for what you have now with your kids and everything, right? But yeah, I think I even said to you the other day, like there will be a little brief mourning period of our old lives, but again, we'll never want to go back to it because of all the amazingness that we have of our beautiful little daughter and everything. You can have both. You can love someone and not want to be in their life for whatever reason, you know, if you're dealing more with like a parent or a friend or something like that, where you still have love for someone and you can't accept what they're doing. So just the I love you and piece is all I wanted to bring up. But yeah, it's I'm so excited to meet her. I'm so excited. We haven't had a lot of time, just you and I, even in actual physical space together. Before we got married, we had, like we've said in our first podcast, we had less than a month of true days together. Now, since moving here, we've had more days, obviously, together since that, but it's been with a baby and getting prepared to have a baby. And so we've never been able to truly enjoy just you and I, not having a big event coming down the line that we have to get prepared for. So I'm super excited. There will be pieces that we'll miss, but I mean, once our kids are grown up and out of the house, then we get to date each other again. We get to do the things that we want to do. And I think that this next phase of life of having kids and stuff like is so exciting, and there's no one else I'd rather do it with than you. So yeah, I'm very excited for it.
I agree. And I think Of course, I would love to have had a more typical relationship where we had time to court and date and really get to know each other in that regard. But I am choosing to positively frame it, and also not choosing. I just genuinely naturally feel that way. It's not a choice, actually. It is just genuine and intuitive that I'm excited that we're backloading, getting to know each other and dating. I think that's awesome that we're going to do this amazing thing and bond, raising humans and a family. And when they're gone, we get to look at each other and be like, thank God. And now you and I get to hang out, and it feels new and fresh. And it's like, who's this person who I raised a family with, but I don't fully know in a healthy, well, it was funny the other day, you talked to one of your former employers who works in divorce law, and you were telling him our situation, which to us makes sense, but obviously from his perspective, he's hearing the recipe of a perfect divorce, and he's probably like, well, let me know if you ever need a divorce lawyer. Anyways, I just think I think it's a weird way of going about things, but I love it. And I think it's advantageous in the long run.
I think we're extremely lucky too. Not only that this situation that has happened to us, who we are very similar in how we want to parent. We're very similar in the ways that we want to give love and receive love. So that works out wonderfully for the both of us. And then going into this, like I don't want to say ready to be a parent. I don't know if there's ever a time where you're like, you know what, I want to be a parent now or whatever. Like there will always be something, but we both were in spaces in our lives where the change to be a parent wouldn't be super crazy. I mean, you did just start going back to school and all that kind of stuff. So not, I guess, the best of timing, but it's not like we're both 18, you know, where we've lived our lives. We know the things we want and don't want. And I think that we did, in a way, hit a very big lottery for the both of us. Having worked in divorce law before, I read multiple background stories of people who got pregnant after only dating for a couple of weeks, which technically we kind of did. We only knew each other for 4 months, having spent, 3-4 weeks together out of those 4 months. And it did not work out for those people. But we have talked lots about things. We are both on the same page for a lot of everything that we've talked about, and we're in this together. We're going to make this work. So I think that, we're very also lucky. And the people who have seen us also see that. And that's why we, when we ended up telling people we were getting married, that it wasn't a big, are you sure you want to do that? Obviously, I think people ask that anyway, in a way of just, this is what you want. And then once they met the both of us, they're like, oh yeah, like they're good. They're not, we have a special connection.
I agree. I think it's hitting the lottery in terms of timing, ineffable feeling, which I think people call love. Like we just clearly intertwine. There's a rhythm between us. And even today we were talking about, it doesn't matter what specifically, just talking about some of your past things that would annoy you and past ways that I've been. And they just seem solved in a lot of ways between us, even if they still exist on a lower level, but they seem solved in a lot of ways. And it's like, I think a lot of that is just two people who've worked through things, have matured, little things aren't bugging them as much, not doing things that could potentially bug other people. And it's just, I think that's the lottery of the timing, where we seem to have just intersected at the right time. Yeah. And on paper, it's insanity, which is so funny. And then to get back further to what you were saying, I loved the correction or the education in the semantics of and instead of but, because semantics do matter, where it's that same thing of telling somebody should instead of suggesting it might be more advantageous to try. some things put people on their heels, and the idea of saying about my daughter a but really does give me pause and go, no, I would prefer to say and, because I am excited and I'm also going to enjoy this time. So I really appreciated that, and it's so true. Semantics are so important. The way we phrase things and frame things, and with a little one on the way, what a great thing to perpetuate and keep going forward is to teach her that, to teach her and instead of but, when it's something that you so dearly care about. Because yeah, I don't want to negate her. I don't want to put that down at all. It's infinite how excited I am. And I'm excited to spend the next month with you getting ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to add on real quick to what you said, I think that's one thing that they kind of teach or are suggesting to parents too when teaching kids about emotions and all that stuff, that you can be angry and frustrated and all that stuff, and you still have to do what you're being told to do instead of the but, you know, because sometimes it can, like you said, negate that. I understand that you're angry and frustrated and you don't want to do this, but you still have to. If you just change that one word, and you still have to, you're still acknowledging their frustrations, their anger, their emotions, and all that stuff, and teaching them at the same time that you still have obligations to yourself, your family, the people around you. So yeah, it's interesting how two little 3-lettered words, and but, you just switch, and it makes sometimes such the difference. Especially when you're talking in the way of I love you, and you still have to listen, whatever, instead of I love you, but whatever. Yeah, it's interesting.
I love it the other way too, where maybe child is angry with us or vice versa. We're angry with them, and it's you have to do this thing. You are being punished in this way. And I love you. And that is so important. So there isn't this dichotomy of, oh, they're angry at me, so they hate me. That whole ugly thing, or I'm being praised, so they love me, is fracturing that with the use of the word and it's also abstract thinking, the idea that two different things can exist at once, and it teaches thinking critically. How mommy and daddy can be upset and mad at you, but we still love you. Teaching an old horse new tricks. Nay. Oh, watch is going off. I got to move my legs, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I've only done 653 Miatas today, so we should probably get going.
I guess so.
Should we take puppy for a walk, or?
Yeah, hopefully it's not too smoky out there still, and I can breathe.
We just wear the gas masks. I grabbed, for in case there's nuclear fallout with the whole Russia, U.S., Ukraine, Gaza. Oh man, what a world we're living in. I got some gas masks. Because our basement's kind of like a bunker. This is a mid-century house. They're building bunkers back then. The basement isn't connected into the house. So I thought
there's a secret room.
Dun, dun, dun. Cut on that. Beautiful stormy skies on their way to get rid of this drought, eh, baby? May you. Come on.
I know!
I think I got it. I think I took it. I got my chest out just in time. Not bad for an old dog.